What is up, everybody? Sorry for the super late upload. Usually I try to get it out at like a better time, things of that nature, but for some odd reason, my mic and whatnot and editing software was acting up, but I'm pretty sure I got it, all under control now. That being said, first thing I want to talk about is tomorrow's obviously first day of pads. Nick Sirianni recently confirmed that. Ringo might start over Rodgers. Reason being, a lot of extra snaps comparatively. Saquon Barkley's MIA for personal reasons, things of that nature. Don't really know anything else besides that. Defensively speaking, obviously pads tomorrow. Offense, in terms of O line and D line helps the most, but defensively, or however, in terms of linebacker, however, defensive edge and corners and all that, or however, helps definitely more. With that. Speaking of corners, Quinyon Mitchell was recently spotted doing a tackle drill, which is very exciting to hear about because Eagles as a whole last year couldn't tackle for crap. Is it just him? Is it the whole team, just one by one, or however? That's the only thing that kind of is concerning. Did they feel like he needed extra work or however, or is it just like, okay, first it's your turn, it's your rookie, then the older guys work on tackling or however, I don't know. Next up, Nolan Smith. He had back-to-back sacks on Jalen Hurts. That's really exciting to talk about. Obviously he's been a question mark. He said he gained 7 pounds of muscle. Obviously it looks like he gained a lot more than that. But even then, that's still pretty exciting, or however they're hearing from him, even though still take it with a grain of salt and, take it for what it is. There's no pads, things of that nature. So, kind of take it with a grain of salt, if you will. But Isaiah Rodgers, he had a pass break up in the end zone from Kenny Pickett to Joseph Nagata. That's really exciting. Isaiah Rodgers, he's like, I don't know, Keely Ringo, I still want my spot, you know what I'm saying? So that's a really interesting battle. It looks like, it's edging out to be those two. We'll get into that later. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he seems to be mad at Madden for a no top 10 safety ranking. He's eager to get his ranking up, it sounds like. Feels disrespected, like, dang, I'm obviously a top 10 safety, but, so yeah, he's definitely extra motivated on top of everything else, on top of the collapse last year, on top of who he is naturally as a person. He feels disrespected, so there's that extra motivation on top of that. So again, I think that bodes well for the Eagles. Bradbury had a pass breakup, second team safety. He broke up a pass from Kenny Pickett. Maddox was also with him running second team safety as well. I don't like either of them at safety personally, but I understand it's second team and things of that nature. I really like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, obviously, but in terms of the other guy, I think that should be Cooper DeJean if all goes well, or however. I can't tell the future. I can't guarantee anything. I do not know. But nevertheless, Devin White, he was pretty explosive, quote unquote. Flying to Shipley, almost had a PB, but instantly pushed him out of bounds after the fact instantly. Bond, he appears to be a starter beside Devin White, things of that nature. Everyone said, oh, he's just going to be special teams, he's just going to be special teams. Sometimes, I'm not going to say all the time, but sometimes I know what I'm talking about. When you have garbage on your team, you know what I'm saying, besides Devin White, he's the best linebacker we got, other than Devin White. As of right now, that we know for sure. We don't know what Trotter has on the NFL field this year. I'm not saying that's his ceiling, that's his max, or whatever, but we don't know what he even has this year in terms of on the field. Same thing with Glass Dean. The only thing we know is he gets hurt he gets touched one time, he's out for the season. Glass Dean, the best ability is availability. Sorry to tell you, that's what I'll always say. The best ability is availability, just like I always say. Next up, continuing the defensive talks, Quinyon Mitchell, he's surging. He's definitely getting first team looks, with Isaiah Rodgers, just in case they want to replace Slay. I understand he's washed and all that. Jordan Davis, he cut his hair. That's pretty exciting. If it helps him, I'm all for it. Milton Williams, he appears to be Jordan Davis's backup. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but this is just what I'm noticing. There's multiple lineup pieces and whatnot saying like this is going to be this, and this is what we've seen most of the time. But overall, defense had a pretty good day, and pretty strong showing from Quinyon. Obviously, Jordan Davis had a pretty good day as usual. Milton, he had a strong day, or however. Saquon, he said he's still happy to be in the NFC in terms of the offensive side. Things of that nature. Britton Covey, he's a candidate for potentially being wide receiver 3. Is all hope gone for Gainwell? I do not know. I've seen multiple articles, pointing that out, or however, like, oh, what's his situation, however, because he looks slow to me. Compared to Shipley and all the young guys, it looks like he's already cooked, and like he's already been in the league 20, 30 years, or however the case may be. One's like Tom Brady. Believe me, that's not a compliment. Max Sharping, he's been quiet. Is he a stout U project? He's only 27 years old. He has time to improve. I don't know about his work ethic. I don't know much about him or how, but he has starting experience. He's a respectable NFL veteran for the O-line, things of that nature. He started before, for multiple teams or however, regardless if it's for the bottom team. I mean, you still got to have some sort of skill. And Fangio, he's good at bringing it out, regardless of who you are. Quarterback 3 is easily Tanner McKee. I don't think Grier had any sort of stats or however the case would be in terms of that. But again, I could be mistaken or however, but I didn't see him get any snaps and things of that nature. But in terms of other things of that nature, Tyler Steen, I know he's out with an ankle injury. Trevor Keegan, he injured his left arm. Saquon, he's out for personal reasons. Lane Johnson with the toe. Things of that nature. I think he got it from Avonte Maddox. Wilson, he's getting first team red zone looks, things of that nature. I think that's really intriguing to look at. It's definitely something to keep your eye on. Dude, 6'7", is an absolute beast. He's not slow. He's pretty freaking fast. He has pretty good hands. Yeah, sure, everyone has flaws or however. He wasn't the first round pick, you know what I'm saying? But he still has skill. He is good. I think he is a good NFL contributing caliber player. Again, not saying he's top 10, top 20, but I mean, I think he'd be a solid wide receiver 3 for us, I think. Next up, days 1 through 3, the offensive stats are as follows. Jalen Hurts, start off with quarterbacks. He's obviously QB1. But yeah, in terms of quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, he was 48 for 55. 1 touchdown with 86 reps, 0 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett with 50 reps, 24 for 30. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And then Tanner McKee, 16 for 19. Oh yeah, Kenny Pickett at 50 reps. Tanner McKee, he was 16 for 19, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and Sam Grier, whatever, he had no reps. I didn't see any stats for him or however, but yeah, that was just cool to see. I know it's just training camp. I'm not saying it's, nothing's guaranteed or however, but I mean, it is still pretty cool to see. Like, hey, he is getting more accurate or however, because last year, he's ups and downs, but I mean, 3 straight days string them together, it didn't happen last year, so definitely a sign of improvement at the very least. Wide receiver / tight end, A.J. Brown, he hit every time he was targeted, he caught it. He hasn't missed one, 10 for 10. Smitty, 8 for 10. Dallas Goedert, 7 for 8. John Ross III, 3 for 4. Covey, he was 9 for 10. Calcaterra, he was 4 for 5. Alberto, he was 5 for 5. Saquon had 14 total touches. Gainwell had 13 total touches. Davis Price had 7 touches. 6 carries and 1 catch. The other ones really wouldn't specify the catches or however the case, but yeah, I mean, overall, besides the injuries, we'll get into that a little later once I get into like my final thoughts section or however the case. But yeah, next up, Sirianni, he said a few things. That's who we're going to start off with. Nick Sirianni said that part of his job is to coach the coaches. Help elevate them, give them a fresh set of eyes on different things and whatnot. He said he's emphasizing conditioning, being in the best possible shape, so everyone's as fresh as possible for as long as possible, so nobody gets burnt out or however the case may be in case of bad situations that nobody can control. But that's really all that he said. Personally, again, everyone's been seriously talking about conditioning. Jordan Davis, Fangio, everyone, and I don't blame him. It is super important. And he's talking about coaching the coaches. I'm like, you're not even good enough to coach the players, much less, not even good enough to coach that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 11-6, that's all you got? When you ain't got no one to help you, that's all you got, really? I mean, it's just aggravating. He's a fraud. He's not good enough. He's a bum in terms of a head coach. Leonard Dickerson, he said that if we want to be great, it's on us players, and that if we decide to show up at practice on us, that nobody's making us do it. Because he was asked or however, like, what makes you guys want to stay at practice? As the coaches suggesting anything? And then Leonard Dickerson was like, oh no, it's not the coaches or however, it's us. Like, we know that it starts with us. So I mean, we have to lay the foundation ever to be put in position to succeed. If we can't hold up, that's on us. Basically, or however. That's what I was getting from it. It's not word for word or however, but Nakobe Dean, he said he's always in the best shape when he's not injured. I mean, what's that worth? I mean, not worth nothing. Doesn't matter if you can bench 1,000,000 pounds when you're healthy, but if you're not healthy enough, then it doesn't matter. It makes it worthless. He said he's glad for pads tomorrow. I don't know why. He's probably gonna, scratch a nail or break a nail or however, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, I'm out for the season. But in my opinion, my final thoughts are, however, Jalen Pickett, they're looking really accurate. These first few days of training camp, things of that nature, it's really encouraging. Because last year, everyone was doubting him and all that. He had rough days at training camp, but now he's looking pretty darn good at even training camp. And if training camp was so easy, how come he didn't look good last year? How come people are bad at training camps? If training camps are so easy and it doesn't matter, how come some people end up getting jobs off of it, because it matters to some extent. I'm not saying it's everything. I'm not saying it's 1,000,000,000,000% of every little thing, but it does help. It can get you a team. It can get you a contract if you do good enough. Depends on how you treat it. But yeah, like I said, really good 1-2 punch quarterback combo or however. Obviously, way better than Mariota. In terms of McKee, I mean, I like McKee or however, so I mean, I'm not really going to say that or anything like that, but easily better than Mariota. Easily. Anais Smith, his catching ability looks a little suspect in my opinion. He struggled with drops first 3 days, 4 days. Jalen Hurts, he's met up with all the rookies and all that, including him. Sessions and all that, or however, where they have where they catch the ball, where they can work on it and all that. So I mean, all that extra opportunity besides practice, besides the past 4 days, Jalen Hurts has done a lot of stuff with his rookie receivers, Johnny Wilson. Everyone like that, or however, you know what I'm saying, and obviously even some veterans, Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, when they work in the off season. So again, his hands definitely seem a little suspicious. I mean, I don't think they're that good. And the biggest question is, can we stay healthy? No pads, no nothing, no actual hits, and we already have multiple toe injuries. You know what I'm saying? Multiple people being out, or however, despite Saquon, because that's just personal. But I mean, Lane Johnson. The other dude with the toe injury, I'm sorry, I'm spacing out or however the case may be. It's been a long day, crappy computer, etc. But yeah, I mean, can we stay healthy? You know what I'm saying? That's no pads, no heavy contact or however, and people are already missing days. I know it's just training camp, but I mean, it's supposed to get you in the rhythm and all that, and if you're hurt, then it ain't rhythm. And obviously, Cooper DeJean's out. We desperately, that leads me to the next one. We desperately need him to help us out this year. I don't trust Bradbury or Maddox or whoever, or even Slay for that matter. I do not trust Bradbury, Slay, or Maddox. They're all cooked and washed or injury prone or just flat out garbage. One of the three or all of them. I believe Maddox, he's good when he's healthy. You know what I'm saying? But he's injury prone, so he's injury prone. Bradbury's straight up washed. And then Bradbury, he might be that and some. All that and some. I don't know. Definitely garbage, though. But it's definitely looking like Devin White and Zach Bond are probably going to be the first team. Linebackers, things of that nature. Nobody's really even giving them really any competition about that. Me personally, I like that, or however. The only person I'd like to see is Charter out there, however, at some point. In terms of cornerback, there's really two positions, being battled, or however the case may be, is Rogers and Ringo on the other side, and then Quignon's making a push to start first. I mean, in my opinion, I start him over Slay. I mean, Slay's washed. I mean, I'm sorry. He's garbage. And I know that I'm saying that about, my own guy on my own team, no Diddy, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, he's garbage, he's washed. Just because he's an Eagle doesn't mean, he's the greatest of all time, and, he's an Eagle, so he's the best. No, I don't do that. If they're good, they're good. If they're garbage, they're garbage. Regardless if they have the legendary green bird behind me. Regardless if they have that or not. If they're good, they're good. If they're bad, they're bad. He was garbage last year. He was garbage. Reed Blankenship, he was solid. That's what a solid looks like. How everyone made it seem like, it wasn't that bad of a year. It's because y'all are falling for it. On his little podcast over, I played good, blah, 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 blah. I only got burnt 6 times. I didn't get any picks. I didn't want to tackle. I let him run right past me, but I still had a good game. No, you didn't. You're trash. You're washed. I'm sorry. It's just when I hate it's irritating, all the Bradbury and, not Bradbury, all the Slay meat writing. I mean, he's garbage. He's not that guy anymore. He's 34. He's not 24. He's washed. He's washed. All we're going to see is worse and worse and worse. Not everyone's LeBron. Not everyone's Floyd Mayweather. Not everyone can pick their spot. Sometimes you have to deliver. Either tackle or don't. He's washed. You can't do it. Wide receiver 3, Paris Campbell or Covey. Covey, like I said, he's making a shot or however at wide receiver 3. Paris Campbell, he's probably the strongest case, most likely 80-90%. I think maybe Covey has a 10 to 20%. Maybe anyone else has a 5% or however. 10%, however. Punt return, Ross, Covey, and Rogers. Obviously, first two most likely is being Ross and Rogers due to their speed and things of that nature. And last year, in the past few years, we haven't really had any, really good returns or however the case may be. So, maybe had, 1 or 2 or however. But I mean, in terms of average for average, I think them two would have a better average in terms of success. But I think despite injuries, things of that nature, I think we're still in a really good place. O-line, I mean, like I said, they're having injuries despite no pads, no nothing. I mean, even Lane Johnson, one of the OGs, it's not just, they're all rookies or however the case may be. I mean, even Lane Johnson, it's, on one hand, I want to be, overly optimistic, heck yeah, we're going to do this, 18-0, Super Bowl or however, but I mean, people can't make it through 3 days of training camp. And they get paid millions and millions of dollars. I love my Eagles. I love my Eagles. And I want us to win. I may, you know what I'm saying, get emotional at times there, but at the end of the day, I just want my Eagles to win. A Super Bowl. Anything short of a Super Bowl win is a bad season. If you feel otherwise, that's a loser mentality. A Super Bowl win, anything short is a loss. At the end of the day, you lost. It's a bad season. You're going home because you lost. Not because you beat everyone's butt or however, or you clawed past everyone or however, and then you won at the last stage where it mattered the most. In my opinion, Tom Brady, he's the GOAT, 7 rings. Not because, oh, well, you see, so-and-so NFC championship, so-and-so philosophical debates. I don't know. For me, I'm a ring or bust kind of guy. I love my Philadelphia Eagles, but we need rings. That's what we need as Philadelphia Eagles. And we, so far going in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Vic Fangio, tougher practices, things of that nature, but it's looking like the players ain't holding up. That's what it's looking like. I don't know. I love my Eagles. I don't need any other team or however. I'm going to the game in Carolina, not in Carolina, in Philly versus Carolina, the Panthers or however. I'm going to that one. I love my Eagles. You know what I'm saying? I always have, always will. You know what I'm saying? But if there's a problem, something wrong, point it out. I love my Eagles. My only two bad things to say is it's looking like we're injury prone or however, with no pads, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And obviously Slay's washed. That's all I got to say. Slay's washed and there's too many freaking injuries. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Too many injuries and Slay's washed. That's it. I promise. Other than that, I love Jalen Hurts. And he's getting more hate than pretty much freaking anybody, and he doesn't deserve it. Slay deserves all the hate he gets. He's washed and all that. Yeah, he deserves it. He's soft. Doesn't want to tackle. Okay, he deserves it. Bradbury, okay, after what he said, I respect him. As a person, I respect him. Heck yeah, he knew he played that garbage last year. You know what I'm saying? He's willing to stay with the team and play safety chase positions. Want to have a role on this team. You know what I'm saying? Heck yeah, I respect that. Heck yeah. But Slay, after every single game he plays bad, or anytime he does something wrong, oh, well, you see, it's not my fault because of this. The team played bad, but I played good. Like, no. You guys lose as a team, you guys play good or bad as a team. If I dropped 100 points for a team that lost, it wouldn't matter if I dropped 100 points. It's worthless. There's no, oh, but I dropped 100 points. Your team lost. Played like garbage. And then guess what? They're going to say I should pass the ball or however. I shouldn't have did so many rushing touchdowns or, so many three-pointers or whatever the sport is or however the case may be. No matter what it is. Sorry, guys, for rambling. And sorry, guys, when I look at my notes or however the case may be, it's like above it or however, because I'm trying to correlate so as to where you guys can, so I'm not just staring down like this or everybody. I'm figuring all that out. Love you guys. Appreciate it. I love my Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. I love Jalen, no Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Vic Fangio, Kellen Moore, most of the team, you know what I'm saying? 99 freaking percent except for Slay and Maddox because they're injury prone. But other than that, love my Eagles. I was born and raised, love Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham. I grew up watching them, things of that nature in their highlights or however. But yeah, I love my Eagles. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do this for you guys, you know what I'm saying? For the love of the game. Fly, Eagles, fly. Philly out. Peace!